Okay, so today we will start the sensory systems. Sensory systems of your body help you to connect to the outside world. For example, your visual system, right? Help you to see the things around you. Your auditory system helps you to listen what's going on, right? The sound around you. Olfactory system helps you to smell the things, right? So that also helps you to connect to the outside, right? Your gustatory system helps you to taste the food. So those are the spatial senses, your vision, audition, olfaction, and gustation. That means sight, hearing, smelling, and tasting. Those belong to spatial senses, okay? Other senses like touch, pain, temperature that you feel, right, in your body, those belong to somatosensations. So the sensory systems or sensations are divided into two types. That's right. Okay, so sensations are divided into two types of sensations. One is called spatial senses, your vision, audition, okay, olfaction, and gustation. Okay. Another type of sensations are called somatosensations. That includes touch, pain, temperature, pressure. So those belong to somatosensations. Make sense? The main difference you see between spatial senses and somatosensations is, for spatial senses you have specific organs. For your vision you have which organs? Eyes, right? Only eyes. Audition, ear, right? Olfaction, you have what? The nose, right? And gustation, you have the tongue. Make sense? So, for spatial senses, you have what? Specific organs. Somatosensations don't have any specific organs. You feel touch, pain, temperature, right? Everywhere. Almost everywhere in your body. So, it is widely distributed. Okay, widely distributed, the receptors. But spatial senses, receptors are located inside specific organs. Today, we will talk about the vision. Okay? Your visual system helps you to see the things. First, we will talk about the parts of the visual system. Okay? Then we will talk about the peripheral organs for your visual system, which are the eyes. Your two eyes are the peripheral organs. We will see the structure of the eye, parts of the eye, the muscles that help to move the eye. We will talk about the regulation of light. you know, how much light will enter into the eye, right? That is controlled by the iris. So how the light is controlled? We'll talk about that, we'll see that. Then we'll talk about the retina. The most important structure of your eye is the retina. Why? Because the photoreceptors, have you heard that? Photoreceptors, rods and cones, they are located inside the retina. They are located in the retina, right? So that's why retina is the most important structure of your eye. Then we'll talk about the visual pathway. You must remember your primary visual cortex. Remember that? In the brain, the back of the brain. So from the eye, the signal travels all the way to the primary visual cortex. So how the signal is taken from the eye to the brain, right? That's the pathway. We'll see that. So those are the things we'll go over. All sensory systems consist of two parts, peripheral organs and central part. So in case of visual system, the peripheral organs are the eyes, your right and left eyes. Central part is located inside the central nervous system. Makes sense? Central part inside the central nervous system. That means inside the brain and the spinal cord. We'll see the peripheral organs, eyes. Your eye has a number of structures. The main structure is the eyeball. The main structure of the eye is the eyeball. Other structures include eyebrows, eyelids, conjunctiva, lacrimal apparatus, extrinsic eye muscles. So those are other structures. But the main part of the eye is the eyeball. This is how you see the eye from outside, right? How you see the eye from outside. So you see only a small part of your eyeball you can see from outside. Most part of the eyeball is inside, you don't see. Now, the part of the eyeball you see from outside as white area, that is called the sclera. Then you have a dark circle, that is the pupil. That's a hole or aperture opening, that's the pupil. And around the pupil, you have the colored structure that gives the color of the eye, that is the iris. So only you see those structures from outside. You see the sclera, you see the pupil and iris. And other structures, you know, eyebrows, eyelids, you see those things. Extrinsic eye muscles. There are 6 muscles. They come from outside and get attached to the eyeball. 4 of them are called rectus, superior rectus, inferior rectus, lateral rectus, medial rectus. So 4 rectus and 2 obliques, superior oblique, inferior oblique. Rectus means what? Rectus means straight, right? Rectus abdominis, rectus femoris, remember? So you see, this is the eyeball. Everybody look. This is the eyeball. So this is superior rectus like this. Okay? This is inferior rectus muscle. This is lateral rectus, right? This is right eye. This is lateral rectus. This is medial rectus. Make sense? So now you tell me, if superior rectus contracts, this is superior rectus, then your eyeball will move which way? Up. Make sense? Muscle always moves towards it, right? Inferior rectus will move the eyeball down, right? Lateral, this way, medial, that. Clear? Now, superior oblique is like this, inferior oblique is like this. 2 oblique. Oblique muscles help to rotate the eyeball. Okay? So those are the 6 extrinsic eye muscles. They come from the bones around the eyeball. You know, eyeball is here. So from the bones around the eyeball, they come and get attached to the eyeball. Now, 3 cranial nerves control those 6 muscles. You need to know which cranial nerves control the eye movement or control those 6 muscles. Most of the muscles are controlled by oculomotor. Cranial nerve number 3. You see, out of 6, 4 of them are controlled by oculomotor nerve. Its name is telling you, right? Oculo means eye, motor, movement. So oculomotor is the main one. Abducens controls one of those 6 muscles, and trochlear nerve controls another one. So those are the trochlear. So those are 6 muscles, and 3 cranial nerves control them. Structure of the eyeball. Now, let me try to draw the eyeball. Okay. So, the eyeball is divided into 2 chambers by the lens. This is the lens. Okay. So the lens divides the eyeball into 2 chambers. In front of the lens, this chamber is called anterior chamber, and behind the lens, this large chamber is called the posterior chamber. Some books you will see 3 chambers, but let's keep it easy. So in front of the lens, anterior chamber, which is smaller. Behind the lens, posterior chamber, which is much bigger. And 2 chambers contain 2 different types of fluid. Anterior chamber contains water-like fluid, water-like thin fluid. That is called aqueous humor. Aqua means water, humor means fluid. Okay, humor means fluid, aqua means water. You know that, right? Aqua, aquatic part. You know. So anterior chamber contains water-like aqueous humor. Posterior chamber contains jelly-like semi-solid fluid. That is called vitreous humor. Okay? Now, vitreous humor. Okay? Now, if you see so you have fluid, jelly-like fluid here, that is vitreous humor. Now, what are the important functions of fluid? Fluid gives the shape of the eyeball. You know, fluid, right? Because of the pressure of fluid, the eyeball is round. Make sense? If fluid is not there, then eyeball will squeeze. So, fluid gives the shape of the eyeball. Number 1. Number 2, that is very important. You see, your retina is attached to the posterior wall of the eyeball here. This is the retina, okay? The most important structure of the eye. And the pressure of this fluid, vitreous humor, keeps the retina attached to the wall. if this pressure goes down, there is a chance that retina will get detached. Make sense? So the pressure is keeping the retina, preventing the detachment of retina. But sometimes, have you heard that? Retinal detachment, retina can get detached from the wall, come off from the wall.
They told me at the doctor that my retina, like I have really bad eyesight, and they said my retina has like a high chance of detaching because I have really bad eyesight. So that's because I don't have a lot of fluid in my eye.
This is one of the main reason that pressure of vitreous humor keeps the retina, attached to the wall. Now, if that pressure goes down, there is a good chance that retina will come off. Yes, that is one reason. Okay, so those are two important functions of the fluid. Make sense? One is giving the eyeball its actual shape, round, maintaining the pressure that prevents the detachment of the retina. Okay. Now, if you see the wall of the eyeball, the wall has 3 layers. Outermost layer is the fibrous layer. So this is the outermost. Always remember, most of the cases outer layer is fibrous because it is tough. Remember I said more fiber means tough, right? So outer fibrous layer. And this outer fibrous layer forms 2 structures. See here. Anterior 1/6 part is transparent. So this part of outer fibrous layer is transparent. Only the front part, 1/6 part, and that is called cornea. Okay. Posterior 5/6 part, that means this entire part of outer layer is not transparent, opaque, and that is called sclera, that white part of the eye. Sclera, okay? That is the posterior 5/6 part. This is anterior 1/6 part is transparent. So that is the outer layer, outer fibers. Then you have middle layer. Middle layer is called the vascular layer. So this is the middle vascular layer. Now, so outer fibrous, middle vascular. Now we'll see vascular layer forms which structures. This most part of vascular layer, you see this entire part has capillaries. That's why it is called vascular layer, capillaries in this part. And that capillary has a name that is called choroid. Capillary is called choroid. Okay. Now we'll see the front part of vascular layer. You see what happens here? The front part of vascular layer forms the ciliary body. Ciliary body. Okay. So these are ciliary bodies. And then you have the iris. This is also a part of middle layer. Okay, iris. And inside the iris you have a hole or aperture that is called the pupil. So this opening is the pupil here inside the iris. So this is and this is iris. Iris. Okay. So let's go back again. The outer fibrous layer has two structures. Anterior 1/6 part is transparent. That is called what? Cornea. Posterior 5/6 part is not transparent, right? Opaque, and that is the white part of the eye. That is called what? Sclera. Is it clear? So that's the outer fibrous layer. Now middle layer. Middle layer is the vascular layer, right? And most part of it has capillary plexus, right? And that is called what? Choroid, right? Anterior part forms the ciliary bodies and iris, okay? Okay, actually ciliary bodies, I did draw it wrong, should be here. Here, okay, then iris. So correct this. This is iris, and these are ciliary bodies, okay? Okay.
Oh, behind it.
Yes. This one is iris, the ciliary body. Okay. So that is the middle layer. Forms the choroid, plexus, and ciliary bodies and iris. And inside the iris there is a hole that is called the pupil. Now the innermost layer that I have already shown you, only present in the posterior part of the eyeball, only present here, and that's the retina. So innermost layer is the retina of the eye. Okay. So those are the layers. Retina is also called sensory neural layer. Sensory neural layer. Some places, you'll see only it is called sensory layer. Some places only called neural layer. But better you say sensory neural layer is the retina. Only present in the posterior part of the eye. Retina is only present here, not in the front part of the eye. Now, when the light enters into the eye, now you can tell which structure it should pass through. This is the retina, right? Sorry, this is the cornea. So you see the light goes like this. Okay, passes through the cornea, number 1, number 2 pupil, right? So passes through the cornea, passes through the pupil, and then passes through the lens. Of course, aqueous humor is here, so has to also pass through the aqueous humor, that fluid, right? Fluid is everywhere inside the eyeball. So passes through the cornea, passes through the pupil, passes through the lens. Now, you see here, when the light passes through the lens, refraction occurs. That means the light bends inwards. Make sense? Like this. Lens bends the light. Why? The lens bends the light to put the light exactly on the retina. This is very important. The lens bends the light rays to put or focus exactly on the retina. Focus on the light. That's the function of the lens. Focusing the light exactly on the retina. Make sense? Now, if the lens for some reason cannot do that, if the lens focuses the light in front of the retina, or behind the retina. In both cases, the person will see the things blurry. Make sense? So, to see clearly, the light must be focused exactly on the retina. Make sense? If focus point is away from the retina, the person will see blurry, will not see clear, right? And that's what happened. And that's why we use extra lens. We use what? Glasses. Make sense? If the light is focused here, then what you have to do? Move it which way? If the focus is here, you have to move it backwards, right? To put here. The goal is putting here, right? Exactly on the retina. Make sense? If the light meets here, focus point is here, then you have to do what? Move it on the retina. This way, right? If it is here, you have to move that way, right? So, that's why you use two different types of lens, right? One can do what? Push it back. One can bring it forward, right? So, depending on, how your lens is focusing, you have to select the lens. So that's why you use the glasses. Now, if the lens focuses the light in front of the retina, that is called myopia. Have you heard this? Myopia, also called short-sightedness. The person can see the near things, right? Short distance, but problem in seeing what? Far things, right? So that is myopia. If the focus is behind the retina, that is also a problem, right? So that condition is called hyperopia. Hyperopia, far-sightedness. The person can see the distant thing, right? Things, but problem is seeing near. For example, seeing the writing, reading, right? So, two conditions. Now, you need to know, to fix the myopia, you have to do what? You have to push it, right, on the retina. Push it backwards. And in that case, we use concave lens.
Wait, hyperopia, it's easy to see far, or it's hard to see far?
Hyperopia is the problem in seeing the, myopia is the problem in seeing far things. Okay, so it is nearsightedness. And hyperopia is the problem in seeing the near things. Okay, so farsightedness. Did you get it? So in myopia, we use what? What kind of lens? Concave, to push the focal point backwards. In hyperopia, we use convex lens, round, to bring, you see this lens will do more convergence. So we'll bring the focal point on the retina, on this way. So that's why in your glasses you use, right, depending on what kind of hyperopia or myopia, you will use that kind of glass, right? Now the problem is that doctors, ophthalmologists, they cannot see where the focal point is. There is no way you can see where the light is meeting. So that's why they do what? They randomly, right, put the glasses.
Better, worse, better, worse.
And keep asking you, right, that do you see better, right? And by doing that, when you say, yes, I see, now I see very clear, right? they know that now the focus is exactly on the retina, right? So it's like blind, without seeing, they do it, right? And ask you. So when you say, yes, it is clear, that means now the light is focused exactly on the retina. Myopia often happens in young kids. Have you noticed when the kids suddenly grow, right, around puberty, they complain the problem. Okay? So, why that happens, you see, your eyeball is a soft tissue organ, right? Soft tissue organ. And when your body grows, suddenly the eyeball grows fast, but the orbital fossa, this cavity, also gets bigger, but not that fast. Make sense? So your eye is trying to get big, right? But the orbital fossa is growing slowly. So what happens? The pressure is created on the eyeball. Make sense? Like this. So your eyeball gets slightly elongated. Like eyeball is round, right? So if you press like this, it will get long, right? This way. So that moves. If the eyeball gets long this way, that moves the retina further away from the lens. Make sense? So your lens doesn't know that. So your lens thinks that retina is still here. Make sense? So we'll try to focus on this, but actually retina has been pushed here, right? So that's why we see myopia in many, cases when the kids grow suddenly. Complain myopia. Okay. Another condition that is called astigmatism. That happens due to uneven curvature of cornea or the lens. So if the surface of the cornea or the lens is uneven, that causes astigmatism. Okay? Another clinical condition. Sometimes, the lens is highly transparent, very transparent. So light passes through, right, without any blockage. Makes sense? Very transparent. But if the transparency of the lens is lost, that is called cataract, cloudiness of the lens. Cataract. That's the cloudiness of the lens. What can cause cataract? One is, of course, is, right, when we get old, the lens loses its transparency. Smoking is another factor. UV radiation, diabetes. Okay? So those are common factors that can lead cataract. Makes sense? Cloudiness of the lens. Okay. Now we'll talk about the most important structure of the eyeball. That is what? Salama. Retina, right? Remember I said a few times already, the most important part of the eye. Why retina is the most important? Because photoreceptors are located in the retina. So we'll see this. So let's see the retina. This is the retina. Okay. You know the optic nerve. This is the optic nerve. is attached to the eyeball. Optic nerve, which is cranial nerve number 2. Cranial nerve number 2. Optic. So optic nerve is attached to this part of the eyeball. And in this part of the retina, there is no photoreceptors. And that is the optic disc or blind spot because of optic nerve and the blood vessels. Also blood vessels enter into the eyeball in this part. Okay? So since the blood vessels and the optic nerve are attached here, there is no photoreceptors. In this part only of retina. And that's why this part is called what? Blind spot. Make sense? Dark spot. And it has another name which is called optic disc. So this is the optic disc or blind spot. Okay. Then in the center of the retina you have a tiny spot, tiny area in the center of the retina where you have the cones in very high density. Cones are present in very high density. And this central spot, tiny area, is called fovea centralis. Fovea centralis, where the cones are present in very high density, densely packed cones. Around the fovea centralis, you have the area that is called macula lutea. Macula lutea. Around the fovea centralis, the area is called macula lutea. You also have cone in that area, but in less density. In fovea centralis, you have cones in high density. Okay? As you go outwards, the density of cones get smaller, and eventually no cones in the outer part of the retina. Now, there are 3 types of cones in human retina. How many types? 3. Red, green, blue. 3 types of cones. Make sense? Trichromatic. Human eye is what? Human vision is what? Trichromatic.
Red, green, and
Red, green, and blue. Red, green, blue. RGB. Make sense? Or you can say RGB, red, green, blue. If someone has one or more type photoreceptors absent, if someone has red photoreceptor, red cones are absent, that person is what?
colorblind.
Colorblind, red colorblind, right? Someone could have more than one type absent, red or green, right? So that is called color blindness. It is mainly due to genetic disorder. Genetically, comes from the parents. Make sense? Color blindness. There are some creatures like dichromatic, some monkeys, or monochromatic monkeys. There are some monkeys monochromatic, right? So they see less color, we see more color. There are some creatures, they are tetrachromatic. They see more colors than us, right? So you see, these cones help us to see the things in color. The rods, another type of photoreceptors, are located in the outer part of the retina. So these are the rods. Okay. Now, the functions, important functions of cones. Number one, you already know, color vision. We have three types of cones, right? Three types of color sensitive cones. But we see more than three different colors, right? Why? If only red cones are stimulated by light, right? You will see red. Make sense? So red color will only stimulate what?
Red.
Red cones. Make sense? Red sensitive cones. Blue color will only stimulate blue color sensitive cones. Is it clear? Now you see, if something, any color stimulates both red and green at the same time,
Brown.
what do you see?
Brown.
Brown or yellow, right? Because the combination of two. Make sense? Now if I combine, like stimulate 50% red, 50% green, you will see one type of yellow or orange, right? If I stimulate 40% of red, right, 60% of green, then you will see still yellow, but different types of yellow, right? So that's why we see so many different colors. How many cells you are stimulating, make sense? And which type? So by combination, right, you see different colors, different hue. Okay. Then visual acuity. What is visual acuity? Very simple. How small you can see. How small you can see clearly. That is visual acuity. Is it clear? Okay. You all know when you go to test your eyesight, doctors do what? Visual acuity test, right? We'll put the chart and ask you to read and see how small you can read clearly, right? Ask you to read. So that is what? That is what?
Visual acuity.
I'm asking you. Yeah. That is what? How small you can see. Yeah, that is the test, right? You don't have to see the letters. If someone cannot read English, would you show the letter?
Picture.
You will show picture, right? House or ball or something, right? So the goal is not reading the letter. Goal is how small you see. Is it clear? So that is visual acuity given by the cones. That's why to see the small things clearly, you have to look what? Straight. You have to look straight. Make sense? If you look straight, the light will fall on the center of the retina. Makes sense, right? If you look straight, light will fall on the center of the retina where you have cones, right? If you look a little bit off, then light will fall on the outer part of the retina. Make sense? Where you have the rods. Rods don't help you to see the things, small things clearly. Make sense? So that's why you need to look straight. Number 3, bright light or daylight vision. see the things in bright light. Enough light is needed to see the things. Rods are responsible for dim light vision in darkness.
That's what I struggle with.
You have problem? Night vision? So for cones to see the things, it needs what? They need a lot of light. Make sense? But rods can help you to see in a small amount of light, in darkness. Is it clear? Now you tell me, rods or cones, who are more sensitive to light?
Rods.
Rods are more sensitive. That's why small amount of light can stimulate them. Make sense? But